Greetings and welcome to Walker Tea Review, where we're looking at the full range of teas. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of different kinds of teas, and we're covering everything from the mediocre to the delicalicious. And today we have a green tea we're going to be looking at. We're going to get this one started. This is your chance, if you're new or getting into tea or want to go deeper, this is your chance to taste with us. So you want to be able to go up and look at the How to Taste page. You may want to get some equipment. So you follow along, build up your tea skills. A lot of people miss out on teas because they try it one time, they steep it one time. Maybe they didn't use, maybe their water temperature was too high or too low, and so they didn't really get the best out of the tea that they could have. There's a skill to teasing out the fine points of a tea, and if you give up too soon, then you're missing out on a lot. So that's why we're here to kind of taste together and share those experiences. We're going to be getting this tea started, and as I was saying, you can go to the How to Taste page right above and get your equipment ready if you want to join. You can also go to the Future Episodes page and look and see what kind of teas we're going to be tasting in the future. Of course, you can always go to the Scores page. If you're looking to buy a tea, you can see my evaluations, my reviews of teas there. So we've got a spoon here, and it's hanging. Our teas are kind of hanging over the side. We've got pretty much a basic full teaspoon there. And when you kind of press it down, flatten it out there on the bottom of your gaiwan, which is what this is called, it's covering the bottom. So that looks good. Close that up. I'm going to come back to our dry leaf in just a moment. Now, our water has come close to a boil, not a full boil, but and allowed to cool slightly, because this is a green tea. You generally do better with cooler waters for green teas. When you pour in, of course, some people are very fancy and they want to hit the side and make the water swirl. I just try to make sure that all the leaves get coated in water, so you don't have a lot of half dry leaves floating on the top of your water. So that's good. We can cap this, lid this. By the way, this is a gaiwan from Grand Teas. It's about 80 milliliter, which roughly turns out to be between 3 and 4 ounces, I believe. What we've seen also here is when I put my lid on, there's actually the rim of the lid goes below the water level, so you have some water sticking out between the bowl and the lid, and that creates a nice seal, which helps to kind of capture in the heat and let it steep a little more smoothly. Now let's go ahead and talk about this tea. As we do a tea tasting, we look at the dry leaf, the wet leaf, and the liquor. And so we're going to take a look at this dry leaf, give it a proper introduction as far as the tea goes. So this is from TeasEtc. This is their MaoFengReserve. 1 ounce on sale or retails for $7.95. This tea is from Anhui province, where where Huangshan, the mountainous area associated or originally associated with Maofeng's is. It's in Anhui province there. So, but this doesn't actually say specifically from the slopes of Huangshan Yellow Mountain. So we are in the right province. Let's go ahead now and look at these leaves and give them a smell. One thing you're going to note is the very green, verdant, sweet smell that's coming off of this, and it's a little complex. It's got a little bit of kind of a sweet silver queen or white corn to it, fresh off the stalk. It's got a little bit of a kind of a clover aspect as well. So a lot of sweet notes coming off of this. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our leaf now and see what we note about the aspects of the dry leaf. So we get out our spoon, shake a little of that off so we're not dropping a bunch. Now you've got some leaves here that are fairly long. You've got here's ½ an inch to an inch in length. You're getting dark, rich blue-green type colors here, so that's nice. I'm getting little specks, portions here and there that are kind of silvery in color. which means that this, which indicates, we've got some kind of tippy pieces here. Although I wouldn't say, I'm saying this is not the fuzziest. Mao meaning fuzz or fur, and feng, the name of the tea, feng meaning peak. Some of these teas, a lot of these teas, Maofengs, will have a lot more of a fuzzy texture to them because they're younger leaves. This one has, it does have some fuzz, but it's not as pronounced as some of the others that I've seen. Okay, which makes us think about, okay, what is the age of this tea as far as when it was plucked? Was this a little bit later on, so that later second, third harvest, say, not the earliest harvest, and so this was leaves that had not been given as much fuzz or fur by the plant. Okay, so that takes care of our leaf. Nice fragrance though. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move along now to our wet leaf, and to do that we're going to pour. Let me get out my tea towel ready here. Now, pouring with a gaiwan is a matter of putting your index finger. If you need, you can put your other fingers back there behind, but you're basically lining up along the 12 and 6 o'clock positions with your index finger and your thumb. You're putting your your middle finger. Your index finger goes on the lid. Before I forget, also, you do need to angle your lid ever so slightly to the side so that you're pouring from here, air comes in from the other end. And this is the way it goes, just like so. Great thing about a gaiwan is it allows you to steep and re-steep, especially if you're using if you've got like a oolong. A lot of people will take a larger size gaiwan, fill it up with leaves, add your water, make a very quick hot water splash steeping, and use those leaves over and over again. So that's one of the great advantages of a gaiwan. Another advantage is it's great for personal use, individual use. If you have a small one like this, one of the traditional ways of using was to just tilt your lid ever so slightly. That held the leaves back, and drink directly from the cup. We're going to be tasting these, or actually looking at these wet leaves rather. And the other advantage, of course, is that it's an easy, convenient way to really smell and appreciate your wet leaf. All right, smells coming off of this. Still a lot of, like we said, green sweetness to it. So there's like a sweet pea flower, this kind of smell coming off. Also a little bit of a kind of a juicy, savory type texture, which is associated with asparagus. So you get a little bit of asparagus and sweet pea flower, or sweet pea blossom coming off of that. Still, lots of we're looking forward to our liquor, I should say, because so indications are good that we've got a lot of aromatic compounds, we've got a lot of flavor and aromas to appreciate. Let's set this aside now and look inside for a moment. Your leaves here, you're getting a range of leaves. You are getting some tippy, some very delicate looking leaves there. That one's kind of a lighter pear green. So our leaves have lightened up some. Let's pull out. This looks like, this was a tip with a very end, the extreme tip of the branch, because you've got a tiny tip and a very immature, very young leaf there that's opened up on the side. So that's worth keeping and looking at. Get a picture of that. We do have some larger leaves I want to make sure we point out. Now you'll notice that these leaves, and I didn't point this out in the dry leaf, but your leaves are kind of twisted along the vein or along the main, the center axis of the leaf. And because these were wrapped pretty tightly, which is usually a good indication, meaning that the more tightly it's wrapped like this, usually it takes more than one steeping to get the get to before it has tapped out on the taste that it offers. So we've got here, for example, we're very delicately trying to gently open up this leaf, and it's still pretty tight. There's some parts that don't want to open up. So we've got a leaf, another leaf here. We got a leaf. I'm trying to see if there's yeah, there's we go. 2 leaves and a bud right there. Quite nice, quite appealing. Indication of pretty good quality here. There we go. I'm going to keep that one, set that aside. I did detect here and there, very infrequently though, some stem pieces. Okay, so but we're going to set that aside because those are nice looking as they are right there. And we're going to be talking about our liquor next. By the way, if you're making notes on this, you probably noticed down below that you've got tags that will tell you where we start talking about the dry leaf, the wet leaf, and the liquor. If you use those, you want to pause ever so briefly and jump back quickly, because your process will be different if you've paused too long and your liquor's cooled off too long, or perhaps you've oversteeped at some point. So keep that in mind. When you're tasting, you do want to slurp. You want to get the air in. You want to be able to swirl it around, release as much flavor as you can. Colors here. We've got a nice yellow-green color, close to like a pear green type color there. Okay. Still those kind of clover and sweet corn smells coming off. Sweetness is still present. Still that, like we said, that kind of corn. Also a little bit, I'm getting a little bit of green bean. I would say green bean and corn are probably, the sweet corn are probably the 2 dominant aromas. A little bit of a kind of a juicy asparagus type as well. Let's see. As far as this Maofengs go, like this one, medium as far as the astringency goes. Not really what I would call bitter. Just the astringency is present. The aftertaste is consistent, carries out that smoothness, I should say that sweetness. Body is, it's for Maofengs, it is medium to high as far as the body goes, so it's got a nice brothy texture to it. Yeah, pretty smooth. I noticed in previous tastings, I made notes that my second steeping was fairly consistent. It didn't drop off a lot, if any, really. Or I should say very slightly. Of course, it's going to drop off a little usually with second steepings, but you're getting at least 2 good steepings off of this. What else did I mention? Anything? No, that pretty much covers it. And so, because we had complexity of sweet aromas in our dry leaf, not as much fuzz as we have seen in some others, but we did have complexity in our wet leaf as far as the aromas there. We had nicely wrapped, rolled leaves, which showed that, which enabled us to get more out of that second steeping, because it wasn't all just unfurled and all the tea aromas and juices released in that first steeping. And so that gave us a nice smooth cup, light astringency, sweetness that carried through, and an aftertaste that presented those as well. And so we give this tea a 93. This is probably why TeasEtc is labeling this as a reserve tea. It's one of their higher qualities. They did a good job in finding this tea and bringing it to us. So that's my experience. As we said, there are hundreds of teas. You may have pulled out some aspects that we did not, or that I did not hear at this time. Share those. Let us know. If you're having trouble, contact me. If there's a tea that's not working out for you, let's see if we can explore. Is it a steeping issue? Is it a leaf quality issue? What's going on? We can solve those things together here at Walker Tea Review.